Guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's lesson, we are going to cover operators, tuples, sets, and lastly the list. So we will start with the Python operators, and we need now to remember that operators are used to perform operation on variables and values. They are supposed to perform two things, that is operation on variables and the values. So we will cover these categories. Category number 1, we have arithmetic operators. Category 2, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, membership, and lastly the bitwise operator. Okay, let's start with the first category, and that is arithmetic. Okay, for the arithmetic, this one is the most common one, and we will look at addition, subtraction, division. We have multiplication and division. Then we have others like the modulus. We have the modulus. And, we have these. We have exponential, and lastly the floor division. So those are the things that we are supposed to cover on the arithmetic operation. Okay, let's start with the first case. And the first case, we have addition. And for us to do addition, so we 10 plus 23. Then we run our program. So you'll find that when you add this one, it will give you this. Okay, let's move to the next part. That's for the addition. So we have subtraction. Subtraction, we have a print. I will be quite fast. This one is quite simple. 23 minus 10. Then you run a program, and you will get 13. Next part, we have multiplication. Multiplication, we have print 9 multiplied by 9, which is supposed to give us 99. Not 99 but 81. So here comes the answer. Then the next part, we have the division. Division, we have the 1 forward slash, which is a print 99 divide by 9, which is supposed to divide by 9. Then you run your program, supposed to give us 11. Okay, next one, we have modulus. And for the modulus, we are supposed to have print 12 then you run your program. So you are supposed to get a 0. The modulus of 12 and 2 is always supposed to be 0. Okay, next we have exponential. So we have exponential. For the exponential, we are supposed to have 2 asterisk, where we have prints 12 and 3. Then you run. So it's supposed to give you 1728. And lastly, we have the flow. We have the flow. the float division where we have to have so we have print 12 /3, which is supposed to give us a 4. Okay, having done that, let's move now to the next part. Let's move to assignment operator. And for the assignment operator, we will look at equal plus equal minus equal among others. We have so many, so we are not going to dive into all of them because the most important part from this one is to have, you need now to have an hint on how to go about it. For example, for this one, print x is equal to 5. X is equal to 5. We are trying to assign the x to value 5. So that is how now we assign. Remember, the keyword there is assignment operator. So we assign a certain number with another value. So you do the rest like this one and this one and that other one using the same procedure. Okay, let's move to the third one, comparison. Now for the comparison operators, just as the name goes, it used to compare two values. For example, we have this one. We also have this other one. We have greater. We have so this one is supposed to be there. We have greater than. We have great. We have equal, greater, and lastly less or equal to. So those are the comparison operators that you are supposed to learn. And maybe I've done so many examples of these. Okay, let's do at least one or two. So we have 12 is greater than 13. Okay, let's assume that we give we write our command like that. Let's see what we'll see. It will give you false because automatically 12 is not greater than 13. Okay, but if it's true, it's a port. Let's assume we have a number like 5. 12 is greater than 5. Automatically it will give you true because of course the number is greater than okay, let's move to another case. Let's move to equal sign. Let's assume that 1000 is equal to 1200, 1200. Let me see what we'll get. We will get, of course, false because, of course, the two statements, or rather the two values, that are not equal. Okay, let's assume that and just the other side, let's see what we'll see. You will see that, or rather, you will find that it will give an equal, the 1000 and 1000, the two values are equal. That's why it's giving us, a true. Okay, let's move to the next one. That is Python logical. You do the rest just like we have done on this one. For the logical operators are used to combine conditional statements, and we use and, or, and not. For example, let's give example. Print x is less than 6, 10 is x is less than 12. Okay, let's try to run our code. So you have x is less than 6 and 10. So it's not no. We are supposed to change these. It's supposed to be. So we need to get rid of so that you can give a comparison. We have so we need to give the condition. The value of x is equal to 8. Okay, let me see. So it's giving us true. So the condition is that if the value of x is equal to 8 and we have x is greater than 6 and x is less than 12. So when you compare, you'll find that it is true. Okay, now let's move to the next part. So the rest, that is the or and the not, you are supposed to do the same thing. So our next part, we have identity. We have the identity. And for the identity, an identity operators are used to compare the objects, not if they are equal, but if they are actually the same object with the same memory location. So for this one, we use is not. So those are the operators that we use. Okay, in our next part we have the membership. For the membership, we use for the membership is actually used to test if the sequence represented is represented in an object. And for this one, we use the in and not in. Okay, next part we have the bitwidth operator. And the bitwidth operator, it's used to compare binary numbers. And there are so many. So for this one, there are quite many. So we have, for example, we have this one. We have this one. We have this one. There are quite many among others. So the list is quite endless. So the most important part is that for the bitwidth operators, we are used to compare the binary function. And that is now the end of the first part. That is on the operation, the Python operation. Okay, let's move now to the next part. In our next part, we'll look at the lists, the Python lists. So don't forget, as you continue to watch, to like and also to subscribe. And also ensure that you share with your friends so that we can continue learning together. Okay, in our next part, we have a list after the operator. And the lists, they are used now to store a multiple items in a single variables. They are supposed to store multiple items in items. So we have different categories. We have the ordered, changeable, and those that will allow the duplicates. So those are the three parts that you are supposed to cover. That is the ordered, changeable, and allow duplicates. Okay, start with the first part. So for example, this is my list. Maybe the thing that I want to buy, the market. So there is mangoes, bananas, pineapples, and lastly avocado. Maybe those are the things that I want to buy. So let me try now to run my program. So what do I want to print? I want to print this statement, copy, into you, paste. Okay, let me try to run. So these are the things that I want now to buy. That is the mangoes. Yeah, you have the mangoes are the correct spelling. So that is how now you come up with your list. Okay, having done that, let's move now to the next part. And the next part, we are supposed to look at the tumble. So we have this is supposed to be Python changes. Okay, let me delete this one. I hope that we are together, and from the definition is that try to clear this one. Tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variables. And you need to remember that a tuple is a collection which is either ordered or rather unchangeable. Okay, let's try to use the same example that we used. This is my thumbnail. We have mangoes, bananas, and pineapples. So let me try to print it. So what will I print? I will need to print this is my numbers. Then I run, so you can see that I'm able now to print. Okay, now let's move to the last part. In the last part, we have the sets. The Python sets. So for the set, we have first we need now to define what is set, and sets are used to store multiple items in a single variables. For example, let's try to dive into my set today, and for this one we will use the curly brackets. We have mangoes, we have mangoes and bananas, bananas, and pineapples. So those are my sets, and we need also to remember that a set is a collection which is number one, unordered, unchangeable, and unindexed. Okay, let's try to print. So what am I supposed to print? My set. So as you can see, there is an error. The print is not defined. Did you mean print? So yes, I meant print. So I make correction on that part. Okay. So this is my list is not defined. So you need to define. Okay. Let's see. So we have this one. Then you run. Okay, so it's working now. So this is the set where we have the mangoes, bananas, and pineapple. Then you print. You should now to print. So for now, for the last few minutes, we have covered operators, tuples, sets, and lists. So in the next part, I will show you now how to create a simple calculator with what we have learned so far. Okay, so we have so remember what we had said is that we use the hash whenever you had to add your comment. So we will have add, then number two we'll have subtract, then number three we'll have multiply. These are the things that we will ensure that our calculator will be able to perform. And lastly, divide. So those are the four the four operators that we're going to use. So we have the add, subtract, multiply, and also divide. So in case you are wondering which kind of compile that I'm using, I'm in fact using the PyCharm to do those to do this kind of task. So we have print, and what we are printing, we are printing yeah we are printing. Pick an operation to use. For example, you can pick either add. Okay, having done that, next step we have to specify number one. If you pick number one, it means that you want to use it to add. Number one, we have add. Okay, because of the time, I would rather copy this one. Then we make number two. If you pick number two, you'll be trying to subtract. Okay, if you pick number four, you'll be trying to multiply, while if you pick number four, you will be trying to divide. So we adjust here. So we have 3 and 4. Okay, let's try to run and see what we get. So we'll see that there is an error. Yes, there is a problem somewhere. Okay, so the syntax error was never closed. So this part was not closed. So we need to close it. Okay, let me see what we have. So you can see that we have the add, the subtract, we have this one, multiply, and also divide. And the process is complete. So we are through with our first part. Okay, let's try to key in. Okay. So next we have operation. Then we have input that you can key in. Okay, let's try to. Okay, let's try to run this one. Okay, as you can see that it is now possible now to key in something. Okay, now let's input our condition. So condition number one, if the operation is equal to 1, what should I do? So for condition number one, we'll have add. So we have the add, elif, and elif in Python means that if the previous condition were not true, then try this condition. So this condition will be operation. We have operation equal, then we have condition 2. For this one, we'll have condition 2 is supposed to be subtraction. This is subtraction. Then if the subtraction condition is not true, we move now to the next one. And the next condition, which is our condition number 3, is supposed to be multiply. So this is a multi. Okay, if the condition for the multiply is not met, we move now to the last condition, elif operation. Then condition 4, which is our condition 4 is supposed to be division. Else you print. So what do you want to see? So you print invalid entry. So that's what I would expect to see. Okay, let's try to run our code. Okay, you will see that there is an error in line number 17, and the reason is that we have not keyed in the condition. Okay, now let's come up with the condition. For this one, we have number 1 equal, then let's try to input. What do you want to input? So we need now to input let me see, enter the first number, colon, okay, copy this one, copy, paste. So this should be the second number. Then you need now to print. What should you print? We start with, okay, so we need now to print, because we are on the first one, supposed to be the sum. For the first one is supposed to be the sum of which number? We have the number that we have number 1 and number 2. So that is our first condition. Okay, let's move to number. So to save time, I will copy this one, then I will paste, then I'll change the term. So for this one, subtraction, This should be subtraction, and well, this one should be addition. So for this one, supposed to be multiplication. Then we use asterisk for multiplication. And lastly, we move to the last condition, which is now the division. For division, we use now the forward slash. Okay, let's try to run our code, and we can see that right now it's not showing any kind of error. Okay, let's try to key in a number. So let's try to enter the first number 2. There's a second number, that's our 5, 3, and okay, there's an error. Okay, let's try to correct this one. We need now to add the integer on this one. We need to add the integer and the string. So on this one we have okay, let's start with the string followed by integer. Then we have this one, intention. Then we close the brackets, and we have that one and that other one. They're supposed to be 3. Okay, let's try to do the same thing. So because of time, I will copy this one, then I will paste on here, then change the sign. Okay, let me see. So we have done the last part. Then you have to input the forward slash, then try to run your code. Okay, let's see what we have. A leave operation. Okay, let me see where the problem is. So we have string integer number 1. So we need now to close this one. Okay, that's where the problem is. So you have to close and close for number 1. Okay, let's try now to run it again. Okay, it's working better now. Okay, let's try to key in a number like 1. First number we have 3. Second number we have 5. Okay, still showing a error. Okay, name number 2 is not defined. Did you mean number 1? Okay, I get it. Okay, let's try to run it again. That's where the problem is. Okay, we have 1 and we have 1. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. So we go back to our okay. You can see where the problem is. So this one is supposed to be 2 and not noted these. This is supposed to be 2, but 2, 2. Okay, I'll try to run it again. Okay, should be better now. So 1, so we have 2, then the other number 3. Okay, it's giving us 5, better. Okay, let's try a bigger number, 1, 67 plus 10. Nice, it's working now. Okay, let's try let's try to go for division for 400 divided by 10. It's 40, so it's working. So we can see that the code is correct. You can see that where the mistake was. So that's how now you create a simple calculator using the string, number type, and indentation. So those are the keywords that you need to be knowing by this time for you to be able now to come up with a simple calculator. Okay, now let's try to try that of subtraction. 37 minus 7. It's working. Okay, let's try now the last one. That is a multiplication. We have not done the multiplication, so we have 3 and we have 30 multiplying by 2 and to get 60. So that is how we create a simple calculator on Python. So after watching, in case you have any question or you rather require to get a clarification, just write down your question on the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as I see your comment. So thank you for taking time to watch. Don't forget to click that notification bell and the like button, and also to subscribe. Thank you. Have a